The Daily Code Snippet. When dealing with media, we have to consider accessibility. For those with auditory impairments, such as being hard of hearing or deafness, we should be adding captions. Captions can also help those who are viewing our video in a noisy environment or when audio may be disruptive. And for those for whom the language of the video is not their primary language, a text transcript may be helpful for translation. For this, we should understand the track element, an empty element, which can be added to media elements to specify timed text tracks. There are different types of text tracks: subtitles, captions, descriptions, chapters, and metadata. The track element is used in conjunction with a WebVTT file. A WebVTT file format is a way of writing text files that contains the strings of text called cues, along with the metadata such as the time at which the text should be displayed. The track element is added after all the source elements within an audio or video element. The kind attribute is used to identify what kind of text track it is, for example, subtitle, caption, etc. The srclang attribute identifies the language of the text track, while the label attribute tells the user the language. Here is an example. So as you can see, the track element is added after the last source element, which is a webm format. The kind attribute is specified as subtitles. The source attribute tells the browser where to find the file, which is a WebVTT file. And the language of the file is in German, and the label is in German. Adding text tracks to your media will also help with SEO, or search engine optimization. This week, we finished looking at the video element. Because not every browser recognizes the same video file format, we learned that we have to offer several options. To do this, we use the source element instead of the source attribute. When using the source element, we specify the source attribute as well as the type attribute. By telling the browser the kind of file format, we save loading time because otherwise the browser needs to load the file first before determining it is incompatible. By specifying the file type, it will know to skip file formats it cannot use. The .webm format typically contains video using a VP8 or VP9 codec with vorbis or opus audio. A .mp4 format generally packages a video using an H.264 codec with .aac or .mp3 audio, and the .ogg format uses Theora video with vorbis audio. Most modern browsers will support .webm and .mp4, but .ogg is best supported using the Firefox or Chrome browser. We learned about the audio element, which works like the video element. We also use the source element to provide options, but if you only have one source of audio to provide, you can also use the source attribute. Several of the same attributes work with audio: controls, autoplay, and preload. But without a video component, it is unnecessary to control the width and the height, nor is it necessary to support the poster attribute. The last thing we discussed was accessibility for media files. The track element is added to specify timed text tracks. There are several different types: subtitles, captions, chapters, metadata, and descriptions. The track element is used with a WebVTT file. A WebVTT file format is a way of writing text files that contains the strings of text called cues along with the metadata, such as the time at which the text should be displayed. The track element is added after all the source elements within an audio or video element. The kind attribute is used to identify what kind of text track it is. Example, subtitle, caption, etc. The srclang attribute identifies the language of the text track, while the label attribute tells the user the language. Here is an example. In addition to accessibility, text tracks help with search engine optimization. Presented by Designers Learn Code.